address to the Control of Customs, granting permission to the person to clear on their behalf, along with a copy of their ID. The person clearing on behalf of the importer will be required to also present a copy of their government-issued ID. Please also be reminded that the name on the import must match the name on the importer's ID. To avoid any delays or inconvenience, all importers are asked to adhere to these requirements. The Customs and Excise Department wishes to remind its importers of the import clearing requirements. Importers are required to present a copy of his or her government-issued ID. Not able to clear your goods? Not a problem. The Customs Department allows persons to clear on behalf of an importer. The importer will be required to send a letter addressed to the Control of Customs, granting permission to the person to clear on their behalf, along with a copy of their ID. The person clearing on behalf of the importer will be required to also present a copy of their government-issued ID. Please also be reminded that the name on the import must match the name on the importer's ID. To avoid any delays or inconvenience, all importers are asked to adhere to these requirements.
Good morning, radio listeners, and welcome to another iteration of Customs Corner. I am joined today, this morning, with Kishma Griffin, Communications and PR Officer for the Customs and Excise Department. Good morning, Ms. Griffin.
Good morning, Kevin, and good morning to your listening audience.
So, what's on the chopping block for this morning?
Okay, well, it's a privilege to be back on Customs Corner, and we are now in our third week of the peak season COVID-19 cargo processing initiative. We've seen our challenges, and we've also seen our successes.
Okay.
So we have been back and forth, tweaking and conducting our postmortems to see how we can better remedy any issues that might arise. And so far, we are getting a lot of feedback. Positive and negative, but more positive than negative. People are actually impressed with the fact that they don't have to come up 4 or 5 times. They're actually getting their goods for Christmas. And just the convenience, the entire convenience of not having to wait for days. So we are seeing some successes, and we are getting our pats. We are getting our licks also. There, of course, in every system there will be issues.
Correct.
And so we are also doing our best to remedy these issues. We're actually in constant meetings every afternoon. We are doing our postmortems, like I said before, just to make sure that we don't have any repeat performances of anything. So far, it seems to be going well. But what I would want is if the general public can call in and say what's going on. I can only speak from my end if they will call in and tell us if they're having issues, so that we can also bring that to the drawing board and see how we can fix it for them.
All right, so radio listeners, please call in. The telephone lines are open. The numbers to call are 465-0989, 662-0989, and 762-0989. So what have been some of the lessons learned from it's been 2 weeks, basically?
Going on 3, going on 3.
What have been some of the lessons learned from your postmortems, as you described?
Okay, so in the past, we have, to expedite the service, we've been checking cargo. So what we've done now, we've slowed it down a little. We have designated examination counters for the officers to use to ensure that every single shipment is examined individually. So Kevin has his decontainer. That space is for Kevin's decontainer alone, to ensure that no goods get mixed up.
Okay.
So that's one of the things that came out of the postmortem, that we had to dedicate a special design area just for each individual good consignment. Also, we realized that we actually need to stay around to ensure that all the stuff that we would have examined went back into whatever container barrel that it would have been shipped in originally. First, we were just examining because it's a big space and we are all over, and we would examine and then we'll move on. But now we are staying, the officers are staying in place. They're not allowed to move until every single item from Kevin's box has been repacked, sealed, shrink wrapped.
Okay.
That is to ensure that what came out of Kevin's box goes back into Kevin's box and Kevin's box alone.
Okay. Sounds good. Again, the phone lines are open for any concerns, questions, any issues that any customers may have had to bring to light, so that customers and Excise and SCASPA on a whole can address them as best as possible.
Well, Kevin,
Yes.
let me just go back over the process, because
Yes.
there are some people that still are not aware of what the process is.
Right.
So upon arrival of your goods, you're expected to proceed to your agent, present your documents, then you'll wait a call from your agent. You come up, you proceed to the customs designated area. You present your ID. Of course, you have to ensure that you walk with a government issue ID, because we are adhering to the COVID-19 protocols. You can expect to be sanitized, have your temperature checked, your contact information asked, and you're basically assigned a ticket and asked to have a seat. So no longer you're sitting outside on a piece of rock or probably on a stack of lumber. You're given a seat under a tent.
Right.
We try to make our customers as comfortable as possible. So, and then when your goods are ready, you will be called and asked to proceed to the customs. You go in, you present your documents to the customs officer, you pay whatever taxes and duties that you would have to pay. Then you would move on to the Port Authority and pay whatever dues you're expected to pay there. And then your cargo is brought up and you are free to go. We want to remind customers to make arrangements for your transportation early, so that you're not, because the whole idea is that you're not in there loitering while somebody else could be in
Right.
processing their stuff.
Okay. And the whole process is on a perfect, fantastic day. The process is supposed to take 20 minutes.
The process is supposed to take 20 minutes, but this is another thing that came out of the postmortem. We are
Right.
realizing that it's taking a lot longer than anticipated, and that is mainly because the influx, the amount of people that come at one time, it's large, it's huge. So of course, if you come up and you meet 20 people there, you don't expect your wait to be that long. But if you come and you meet and you get a ticket and you realize, oh my gosh, I'm number 142,
Right.
you know you're gonna have some wait. So it
Well,
takes a little longer than, but we're still tweaking, Kevin.
Right.
We are still tweaking.
understandable. And maybe one of the tweaks could be, let's say you do manage to get 100 people up there. That sounds like so many people. But let's say you do manage to get 100 plus people, and the expected wait time kind of extends. Could one of the things be, after you reach a certain batch of people, you would call them and let them know that they should be sticking around so they can get their ticket, and then they could possibly leave and then get a call
Well, we don't
back?
want we don't want to encourage the leaving,
Mm,
right? We don't want to encourage that. But like I said, we're still tweaking,
Right.
and so I left meetings going on. So it's a process that's constantly being evaluated
Right.
constantly. So you might hear that tomorrow. It's whatever works best.
Right.
We are going to go. We're going to lean towards, and of course, it's all about facilitating trade and to ensure that our customers are able to get their goods in a timely manner. Because last year, this time around, you would have done your Thanksgiving shopping, and you probably wouldn't be able to put them inside your house for Christmas. This
Right.
time around, I'm hearing the comments from people how happy they are I have a couple texts in my phone and thumbs up. This is a great thing. And, so of course, we're going to get our licks on the back end also, and we have to take both. We have to welcome both, the good and the bad, because the bad can help us to improve, to make us even better.
Right.
But so far, we are hearing the people, and they seem to be quite happy with the process.
Okay. And have there been any peak days, any specific days where there's a tight congestion?
Weekends for some weekends, and of course, you have to look at when the vessels come in. So you have a particular vessel that comes in on a Tuesday, and by the Wednesday, the cargo is ready. So you're going to have an influx of people. It also depends on the availability of the people too, when they can come. But like I said, we are tweaking as we go along. We're doing everything to make sure that at the end of the day, we are facilitating trade.
All right. Okay. And how long does I know the peak season is normally like Thanksgiving, Christmas. How long does that last? Does it go into the new year?
It normally goes into the new year. That's because up until now, people are still clicking. They're shopping and clicking.
Right.
The deals are coming up, so they're still shopping and clicking. And so we see this spill over into January, mid-January even. And then we start seeing it taper off down the latter part of January. Yeah, so.
Okay. Again, the phone lines are open for any questions, comments, or concerns, suggestions, possibly. As we have Ms. Griffin here from Customs and Excise, the numbers are 465-0989, 662-0989, and 762-0989. We welcome all callers. Are there any, let's say, any specific notices or any specific messages you want to give to the customers?
Okay, so we would have said before that you can check www.scaspa.com's website to get information on your shipment. If you look on your bill of lading, you'll see the container number. You input that information, and it will be able to tell you in real time if your shipment is ready for pickup. We've also put out announcements, public service announcements on all the major radio stations to make people aware of what the processes are, so that they can understand what is required of them beforehand. We have now our hotline, which is 550. So you can also call that if you require information. If you have any issues with your shipments, you can give us a call, 466-7227, and ask for Kishma Griffin, or you can drop me an email at kishmagriffin@skncustoms.com. We try to make ourselves as accessible as possible, so that in the event that there are any issues, we know how frustrating it can be if you don't get your package, or you're missing something, or you're having an issue. We know how we are as people. We get agitated easily. So we try to make ourselves available, so that we can answer any questions, even if it means that I have to look into it and get back to you. At least we try to make ourselves out there for that.
Right. Good. Apart from the new procedures, has there been any other additions to anything else that's going on in Customs and Excise?
Okay, so that's the main thing for now, because that's what December is all about. It consumes us. But in January, you'll be hearing more from me as we start looking at celebrating our International Customs Day. And there are some interesting things that we have planned for next year, but I won't let the cat out of the bag as yet. And so I will leave that until I come on your show next year.
All right. Well, that's a nice tease. That's a very good tease.
Well, I was really hoping, Kevin, that the people will call in, because I'm quite sure that they have their questions.
Right.
I'm quite sure they have their concerns and even their suggestions. So I was really hoping that they will call in, so that we can see how best we can address these concerns and these issues.
Right. because they see it from a different perspective. They see it from the outside.
Correct.
So it's necessary to get that feedback so that you can make
Right.
the necessary adjustments
Right.
and adjust best practices. So the numbers to call are 465-0989, 662-0989, and 762-0989. While Miss Griffin is here with us this morning, you can let all of it out. Let all of it out. Whatever.
And this is actually the last program for the year.
Yes,
The last
this
Customs
is
Corner
the
for the year.
final
So
Customs Corner for the year.
Yes.
So you grab this chance
Yes,
as you have
yes.
it right now. So how has the I know that according to the operations, you've implemented certain things where persons can't come with entourages, persons can't come with their children. Have people been following that?
yeah, they
procedure well?
have. They actually have. So, like we said initially, that because in light of COVID and maintaining social distancing, we ask that you come alone. Yes, we know that you might have a family and everybody's excited to see what's in that decontainer, but they'll just have to wait until they get home. So we've asked the public to leave the entourage at home, leave the children at home, and it's just basically for safety.
Correct.
And they actually have been adhering to it. So we applaud the importers for following the rules.
That's good. That's very good. What has been the most difficult part of the new procedures?
The difficult part has been, I would have to say, the complaints. The complaints as it pertains to missing items. That's not something we had anticipated, but like I said, we conducted our postmortem and we decided to take certain steps to eliminate that process. So like I said before, a decontainer comes in for Kevon. The officer, the port official, and the agent are there. They're present for that examination. And the customs officer does not leave until that decontainer is secured and sealed before they move off. So, and another thing that we're doing is we're actually putting there's a sticker on it to let you know that it has been examined by customs. We've seen it packed back, we've seen it sealed away, and the officer's signature is there so that in the event of anything, we know who to contact to get additional information from.
Okay. And have there been many complaints about missing items?
We've had a few. We've had a few. So because we've had a few, of course, I won't be able to speak about it because they're under investigation. So I can't make any comments about it. But like I said, as a result, we have put things in place to eradicate that from occurring again.
Right. Okay. Well, it's great that those conversations are being had because we know how, as people, we know how we be about our belongings.
Yes.
And when certain things go missing, when we're expecting certain things and they're not there, we tend to go a bit crazy. I hope you haven't had any, let's call them overzealous persons.
Well, that's how we are. We have a little bit of that in our DNA, being Kittians.
Right. Okay. What's been the easiest part of the protocol, the new operations, the easiest part?
There's no easy.
There's no easy?
There's no easy because our main priority is ensuring that the customers' goods are safe and secure and that they have access to them when they come up. In doing so, we are forced to work while you are asleep. The officers are constantly examining cargo, ensuring that tomorrow Kevon can get a call up and say, hey, your shipment is ready. One lady made mention that her stuff came in on, it was Tuesday. The agent would have called her Wednesday to tell her to proceed to customs, and she was like, this doesn't normally happen. You know, your stuff doesn't come in on a Tuesday and then Wednesday you can go up and clear it. So she was pretty excited about it. But there's no easy path for us because we are constantly working in the background. We've extended our hours, and even after we've closed to the general public, we are still working. But you know what makes us happy? When we hear these comments from people, when we see people come up, get their stuff, and they have a smile on their face, and that is what brings the reward to us. Although we are tired at the end of the day, we have bags under our eyes, but we see the customers and they're happy and they appreciate our effort. That's what makes us happy.
So you can call that your favorite part of the new process.
I think so. I guess so.
Understood. And well, we have about 5 more minutes. So if there's any callers, any listeners,
I am assuming that they're either up at the customs waiting to go in,
yes.
or they're just busy unpacking their stuff that they got in such a quick manner.
And
That's
so
what I'm assuming.
so they understand everything that has all the new
Yes.
procedures. And going forward, it was made mention that these procedures will probably continue. Is that still the
Probably,
trajectory?
but of course, that will be communicated to the general public in time.
Okay. What else?
I don't know. We've exhausted everything, Kevin. I mean, we've ran through it. We've turned it upside down, and the fact that we're not getting the calls, it means that the public is probably pretty happy, and that's all that we want. We want people to have their goods in their house in time for Christmas, because we, as a people, we just go overboard when it comes to Christmas, and
and it's
we
Friday.
see.
Christmas is Friday.
Yeah.
Oh, Christmas is Friday.
Yeah, that's a weird day for Christmas, though.
I think any day other than a weekend might be a weird day for Christmas, to be quite honest. It kind of throws the week completely
I know.
out off kilter. But you said that the hotline, that was another thing that I was going to talk about. The hotline is up and running.
Yes, the
And
number is 550.
550. So if any listening audience anyone in the listening audience that has any questions that might have missed today, or wants to talk with someone privately and not necessarily live on radio, they can call the hotline 550 for any information concerning the new procedures for peak season, as well as to get notice of whether their goods are ready or not, correct?
We prefer that you would use the SCASPA's website, but we would be able to assist you.
Okay.
We can do the search for you. For example, if you, like your 92-year-old grandma who might want to know if her barrel is ready,
Right.
yeah, you can call us. We will do the manual check for you and get that information. But for those who are tech savvy, they can just jump on, eliminate the call, jump on their phone and look it up.
All right. So there are plenty of avenues for customers or importers to get the information that they need concerning the new procedures and when your goods are available for pickup. And for one last time, could you run through the procedures again for the listening audience?
Okay, so you, upon arrival of your shipment, you get your documents down to your agent. They would issue you with the bill of lading. They would let you know when your goods are ready for pickup. You proceed to the customs. Please remember to walk with your government-issued ID. Be prepared to go through the protocols. You have to have your hands sanitized. You have to have your temperature taken. You have to give your contact information. You're issued a ticket, asked to wait, not in the hot sun, but under a nice, cool, cozy tent with comfortable chairs. And then when your goods are ready, they will ask you to proceed. You go inside to the customs. You present your documents to the customs officer. You pay, if any, duty and taxes. Then you proceed to the port authority. You pay whatever you need to pay there. You're issued your gate pass. And then your goods are brought up and you're free to go. And we keep reminding customers to ensure that you have your transportation pre-organized so that you're not in there waiting 45 minutes for someone to come up and pick up your stuff. We've seen that happen a lot, where people are waiting on transportation, and what that does, it slows up the process. Right. Because Kevin's in there for almost an hour waiting on transportation means that Sally can't get to come inside too, because we only allow a certain amount in at a time, so we need some to go out for some to get in. So we ask that you have that transportation all lined up. If you do not, you can always use one of the truckers that are on site.
All right. And please, again, don't walk with your entourage.
Correct. And leave the children at home to watch Cocomelon. Yes.
All right. And as Ms. Griffin said, this is the final Customs Corner for the year.
Yes.
Yes. And from WinFM, we wish you a happy holidays at Customs and Excise.
Thank you so much, Kevin.
You're very welcome.
And we wish you the very same.
All right. And we will see you next year.
Yes, and I just want to say to our listening audience, our importers, be safe. Prepare to go through the protocols when you proceed to the customs. And even outside of that, just remember to adhere to all the protocols to keep yourself safe and your family safe and our country and our federation safe. Merry Christmas and a very happy New Year to all.
All right, then. Stay tuned for Voices here on UNFM 98.9.
The Customs and Excise Department wishes to remind its importers of the import clearing requirements. Importers are required to present a copy of his or her government-issued ID. Not able to clear your goods? Not a problem. The Customs Department allows persons to clear on behalf of an importer. The importer will be required to send a letter addressed to the Controller of Customs, granting permission to the person to clear on their behalf, along with a copy of their ID. The person clearing on behalf of the importer will be required to also present a copy of their government-issued ID. Please also be reminded that the name on the import must match the name on the importer's ID. To avoid any delays or inconvenience, all importers are asked to adhere to these requirements.